Hey guys, welcome back to another Toyota Tuesday. I am Brian from Sixth Gear Garage, and normally here on the show with me I have Clinton from Dirt Garage, but Clinton is missing in action today, so we'll see if he comes in later on in the show. But this is a show we do every other week right now to kind of talk with our Toyota fans and answer any questions you might have. Also, if you want to get some pictures of your truck up live on the show, there is an email pinned at the top of the comments here. It's Toyota Tuesdays at gmail.com. Go ahead and send us some pictures of your Toyota, and we'll take a look at those live on the air. Also, another important announcement. I'll go over this a couple times later in the show as well, but we are planning on moving the show to its own dedicated channel. It'll be off of Sixth Gear Garage eventually. So that channel has been created, and there is a link in the pinned comment for that as well. So be sure to subscribe to that Toyota Tuesday channel, and that way, when we move it over, you won't miss any of the episodes. So thanks everybody for checking in. Let me know what's new, what kind of project you guys working on. Rowan, hey, thanks for checking in. How's it going, guys? I'll tell you what, I have not been working on too much lately, but I did get some more parts to restore my 1980. It actually happened because of this channel, because of this show. There was a guy, Michael, out in Oklahoma, West Oklahoma, way out there, and he said, "Hey, I've got a 1980 parts truck. It's mostly complete. You can have it for 350 bucks." I was like, "That's awesome." But how am I gonna, to rent a trailer and go drive all the way there in a Land Cruiser? Not really much of an option. Getting it shipped, probably not worth it. Sorry about that. Audio cut out there. But it ended up working out because he was going to be driving out to New York this past weekend. And I figured, hey, why don't you just pass by Ohio? We'll meet up and I'll get the parts off you. He's like, yeah, that's cool. And instead of paying me cash, what if you pulled some parts for me off of your 1987? So I did that. I got a bunch of parts for him off my 87. He got me a bunch of nice Southern body parts and some interior parts from his 80. So it all worked out. So if you're watching, Michael, don't know if you're in New York or what you're doing out there, but thank you. Greatly appreciate it. And hope the rest of your trip went well. It actually started out kind of rough for him. He has a very rare I believe it's an 85 two-wheel drive extra cab long bed. So normally you have your short wheelbase trucks, which is like I think 100 and what 6, 7 inches, and then you have your long wheelbase trucks, which are 112. The long wheelbase is either the extra cab that comes with a 6 foot bed, or the standard cab that comes with a 7 foot bed. But for a few years, I want to say maybe 3 years, maybe 85 through 88. Um, I don't think 84 has had it. Toyota made a two-wheel drive only, but it was the extra cab with the long bed. So it's a 121-inch wheelbase. And they made them for the third gens too. I've seen it 89, so I know they made them past the second generation, but I'm not sure how long they made them. But it's a really cool truck. And the cool thing about it is the bed, even though it's a two-wheel drive, extended cab long bed, the bed has the four-wheel drive flares for the fenders. So it just gives it more of a tough, almost like a dually look sorta. But anyways, his truck died. It overheated 300 miles into his trip. He got some that Blue Devil stop leak stuff. Got him a little bit farther. Ended up having to like just camp out in some random tiny town on the way up here, and he ended up buying like a Chevy. He was gonna dolly it up to here to see if I wanted to buy it, but there were no dollies left at the U-Hauls there. Everybody like moved out and they never got them back. So I almost had the chance to buy a very rare uh, truck, but it didn't work out. Probably for the better. I need to focus on the projects that I've got. Um, but so yeah, that's what's new with me. He also gave me some really cool literature that came with the 1980, and we'll look at that in a little bit too. Um, I'm gonna check up the comments here. Jeff working on a rear diff front seal and crush sleeve this weekend on my 91. Nice. Yeah, be sure you have the service manual for that because those specs are very important to get correct. Um, let's see, Evan, how much of a lift would you need to fit 35s on an 88 pickup? I would say 4 inches is pretty safe. You will need to, I would say, cut or massage the front inner fenders, kind of like the back of the wheel well, almost like kind of like by the rocker panel area, because that will rub under full articulation, depending on your steering and all that. But if it's going to be driven off road, if it's going to be just a street truck, I think you'd be fine with a 4-inch lift. I've got a 4-inch body lift plus a 2-inch suspension. I'm sorry, 4-inch suspension lift and a 2-inch body lift on my 85. Just because that's the way it came. I'm not a fan of the body lifts, but it is already there. And I also had to have my inner fender area massaged quite a bit. The previous owner actually just like sawzalled it out, and there was a giant gaping hole there right into the rocker panel. So I went back and fiberglassed it over. But that's about the only place you're going to rub though, with 35s on that lift. Um, and that's assuming you don't want to like cut up the body. If you want to cut up the fenders, I mean, you could probably get by with just a 2-inch lift. Let's see. Rowan, which motor is better, 1KZ or 5L? Clinton, where are you, man? We need some tech on these newer engines here. You know me. I'm old school. I have never owned either one. I can't give you an honest opinion on that. So my apologies there. Fast lane, what's happening? Good seeing you again. Let's see, Thomas. He's got an 87 22R 4x4. The problem is the steering wheel. It's too hard. I assume you don't have power steering on that truck. Um, if so, it may be worth the upgrade. Um, Let me know either way. Do you have power steering or not? Also, what's your tire size on there? Let's see here. Yeah, the fast lane you might be onto something. It has a leak somewhere in the steering system. Howdy, Theron. Let's see. If it doesn't have power steering and you want to upgrade to that, it's really not too hard to do. You're going to need your power steering box, which you can get from any IFS power steering truck. Um, I want to say 89 to 95 might use the same box as the 86 to 88s. I think so. You guys, let me know if I'm wrong. I'm trying to think if I've ever compared them side by side. I think they're the same. But yeah, you need that power steering box. You need the lines, and you would need the power steering pump, bracket, reservoir, um, and then just all the hoses. Not too bad if you were able to piece together from a parts truck that you found, at a junkyard or something like that. Thank you, Cole. 86 to 95 IFS boxes are the same. Excellent. So yeah, it wouldn't be too bad of an upgrade to switch to power steering if you haven't already. And of course, as you get bigger tires, especially with a manual steering truck, those are going to get hard to turn. So, one more question here. What's the problem with a hard ticking sound in a motor? Is it the incetor? Incetor? I don't know what the not sure what that typo is there. Um, Hard ticking sound in a motor on at least a 22R or RE. It's probably the valves. They're just noisy. They're noisy motors. You could try, doing the valve adjustment, adjust the valve lash. Oh, injector. Um, Injectors can make some noise, although um, I'd bet on the valves first. The way you can do that though is get a long screwdriver, like a big one, big old thick one, like maybe like a big old flathead, and you can actually put the metal end of it on the injector, each one, and kind of hold up to your ear like a stethoscope. Stethoscope, and you can actually kind of hear the ticking resonate, and you can kind of find out which one's making the noise through doing that. They make actual stethoscopes for automotive use, but the screwdriver is like a poor man's trick, if you will. So yeah, check that out for sure. And if the valve lash hasn't been adjusted recently, that could very well be it as well. Let's see here. Austin, do the dually 80s Toyota pickups have larger steering pumps? Maybe that would help. That's a good question. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I wouldn't think they would. I know they've got a beefier, obviously rear end, leaf springs, all that stuff. I think even the sway bars might be bigger on them, but I don't know about the power steering pumps because they use the same, small, I think 14-inch front wheels that the normal two-wheel drives use. So they may or may not. Interesting. If someone knows, let us know. That'd be a good solution. Let's see. Jose says, did your 85 come with power steering from the factory? As far as I know, it did. It's a DLX model. I have seen DLX models without power steering, but that's something I don't know if the previous owner installed or not. So don't know for sure, but I think it did. And I gotta say, the truck has I think like 197,000 miles on it now, and I've never had an issue with that power steering either. So the not leaking anywhere, the box isn't leaking, so they're pretty robust systems, like the rest of the trucks. um, let's see. Jose says his base model has power steering. So yeah, I guess back in the day you could probably option it out whichever way you wanted to. But yeah, it's definitely worth it, especially if you're running bigger tires for sure. Um, excuse me. Cole, only thing I remember the two-wheel drive 8695 IFS boxes only have two bolt holes, not three like the 4x4 ones. So if you're buying an IFS box and you're putting it on your 4x4, make sure you get it from a 4x4 as well. Good point. 250,000 miles on a 1995, and power steering is holding out great. All original. That's good. Yeah, even the lines on mine are original. Toyota just really did a good job building those. Uh, let's see. I just got an email here to show you guys. This is from Cole, who was with us tonight. I got this about a week ago. We'll jump over and check it out. This was a bring a trailer find. This is a 1984. Come on, Toyota Trailblazer. Ooh, nice. Sold for 20 grand. Wow, that's really nice. So this, I guess, would be between the Trekker and the Forerunner, a 1 year thing, I suppose. So let's see. It was produced in '83 and received a Trailblazer conversion. All right, 22R, 5-speed manual. That cannot be the original paint. I doubt it. I think it looks too nice. Let's, let's see here. Trying to see if they say or not. Wow. Maybe that interior is meant. Maybe it just is a garage kept low miles. Look at the seats. Wow. That might be the nicest blue interior that I've ever seen. Okay. Just under 150,000 miles. So that is a very well cared for vehicle. Okay, so they removed the rear bulkhead, the back wall of the cab, and put in blue carpet. No, no rear seat, which I find kind of weird. Wow, look at the frame. Look at the cross member. That is beautiful. And there's a bunch of pictures. Yeah, that's nice. That is real nice. Original radio too. Wow, that's yeah. I'd say 20 grand's a fair deal on that one. I think they got a good deal. All original, mint condition. The mileage, 150,000 miles, doesn't even bug me on that because this thing is clean. Yeah, thanks for sending that in, Cole. Appreciate it. So let's see. Jose is turning his 85 into a crawler. Nice. Yeah, if you guys got any pictures of these trucks, man, send them in. Toyota Tuesday. Wait, Toyota Tuesdays at gmail.com. Make sure you put the S on the end. A lot of you guys say you send me stuff and I don't get it, and I think it's going to somebody else that has Toyota Tuesday at gmail.com. It was already taken, so we had to put an S on the end. Um, will Chevy 63s fit a stock 79 to 85? They will not fit. You're going to have to relocate the rear hanger a couple inches for that to fit. Is it good to weld your Hilux diff? Um, it depends on your definition of good. Depends on what you're going to be using the truck for. If it's going to be a street-driven truck, I would absolutely advise against it. If it's going to be just a off-road, dirt mud only rig, then it's a cheap alternative to getting a locker. Personally, I wouldn't do it, but I'd spend the money and get a locker. But if you're able to weld anyways, or if you're going to be having that apart anyways, and it's an ideal time to do it, go for it. Just make sure you got a good 240 welder and you're able to penetrate and get a good solid weld. So let me check on Clinton here. I have not heard from him. Let's see here. Nope, no Clinton. I think it's worse now that we're doing every other Tuesday because then it's like not only do you have to know what day it is, but you have to remember like what week is it? Are we on this week? Are we off this week? So I should probably hit him with a heads up before the show. Um, Question, Evan, good question. What gearing do I run and why? My truck has 529 gears, and I run that because that is the closest ratio to work with 35-inch tires to keep your speedometer as accurate as possible. Um, if some people say you can go lower for 35s if you have the V6 or the 3.4, but with a 22R or 22RE, I go 529s. With the V6, uh, they say you can go 488s, but 529 seem just right for a four-cylinder with 35s, and it has no problem doing highway speeds. Going uphill and off the downshift sometimes into fourth, even if it's just like a really slight incline on the highway. But I mean, what do you expect for 30, what, 4-year-old? four-cylinder engine. Um, let's see here. Can I put the stock rear leaf springs in the front axle? Absolutely, yes. That's the RUF or the rear up front swap. And yep, as Fastlane said, you're on it tonight, Fastlane. You will get a 3-inch lift up front from that. So it's a perfect way to reuse your rear leaves and save some money. How many years do you have your YouTube channel? Oh man, um, I th- I want to say like my first upload was probably I don't even know, man, 2007 maybe 2008. I never really used it as anything until about maybe I don't know 5 years ago. Yeah, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I kind of started doing automotive how-tos and stuff like that on it. But it just kind of I just kind of used it for random clips for a long time and just stuff to link to share into forums. But I never really treated it as a channel until maybe what 5 6 years ago. Um, and then it didn't really blow up until I put I think I had maybe 1 or 2 thousand subs before I started doing my Toyota stuff, and then it really started snowballing, you know. And eh, here it is. I'm definitely invested in the Toyotas from here on out. Let's see. Hey, I love your videos. I recently put a Weber 3236 carb on my 4Runner. Compared to the EFI, how would the two compare? Oh, this is a tough one for me as well. I've only ever had one truck with the Weber, and it's my 1980 with the 20R. So, and I can't really even drive it because the brakes blew out when I got home. So I can't give you an accurate comparison there um, on how that's going to compare on a 22R. But I think if you get the once you get the Weber tuned right, I think you know I don't know how much extra power you can get out of that. I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe 10. I'm not really sure what you get over that over stock. Um, yeah, and that's the kind of thing you got to get it tuned right. It's not like EFI, whereas on a car motor over time it'll get a little bit more sluggish, a little bit slower, slowly. Um, I'd rather go with that. EFI motors, when something goes bad, just like all that, in an instant, it goes from running great to running like crap, whether it be a sensor, an injector, TPS, whatever. Um, that's my very narrow experience with these EFI motors, and why I love my 85, man. It's 22R. It's slow. I don't care about going fast, so that's why I'm okay with it. But those 22Rs, man, they are like, you know, the I don't know, I don't know what you want to compare them to, but they're basically you can just put them through whatever and they'll keep going. There's not much to go wrong on them. For something to go catastrophically wrong, I don't even know. You'd have to like, you know, have a vacuum line crack or something like that. That's the only way it's going to start to run like crap really quickly. Other than that, it's just going to be a slow transition to running poorly and getting worse mileage, which is kind of good if you're off road and you're not near civilization or a garage, which is why I like it. Let's see here. Should a should a lower my 85? Should I lower my 85? Is that what you mean? Um, what's your 85, Joseph? Are we looking at a is it a two-wheel drive, uh, Forerunner pickup? What do you got? Um, and put a supercharger on it. I'm wondering what supercharger you're gonna put on a motor in an 85 because it'd just be a 22R or a 22RE. Um, I'm unaware of a supercharger for those motors. So yeah, fill me in. I'm curious. The bulletproof, yes, yes, that's a good way to put it. 22R bulletproof. Unless unless you're Clinton and you have bad experiences with 22Rs, I can't say that I do. I'm trying to. In fact, I want to say every truck I've ever owned, 84 to 88, has been a four-cylinder. I've never had the 3.0 V6, except for that 89. And the 1989, we bought it just because it had the manual transmission, and it was a 3.0 V6. We didn't even expect the 3.0 V6 to be any good. We figured the truck got parked under the trees and sat for 5 years because the head gasket was bad on it. Turns out that thing runs great. Runs better than any of my four cylinders. It's just real peppy. There's a lot of snap to it too. Likes to rev. Um, so I will say my opinion of the V6 is changing. We'll see how it does over time though. Once we get it swapped into the Honda, the Gambler 500 car. Let's see. What's the story on your truck, Clinton? Clinton's out, but I'll give you the quick rundown here. He's had the 89 for a long time. It's been through about everything. It started off as a 3 liter, swapped to a 3.4, supercharged the 3.4. Didn't like having to buy premium gas, and then for better power, he could do the same with a 1UZ swap. So he did that. Swapped the motor in. Had a incident with a fuel leak and resulted in a fire. Did a lot of damage to his garage and his truck. So had a big setback. Bought another engine, another another 1UZ, I believe, or was it a 2UZ? It's been so many I can't remember. Had a problem with that one. It was an interference motor, so the valves contacted the pistons, so that motor was toast. So he bought another one, another 1UZ, I believe. Yeah, 1UZ, and he got that one swapped in, wired it all up. The truck is running, sounds awesome, runs good. I watched his most recent video. You guys should check it out if you haven't. It's actually really good. And he says it's getting a little bit hot, um, running a little bit hot, going up hills and stuff like that. Not overheating, but getting up there in the range. So he's going to take a look at that next. And of course, he broke he broke his right or his left burr field on that trip. That dude's hard on axles, man. But no, check out the video. It's good. Check out his channel. Um, the fast lane. Let's see. Update on the 85. Uh, Nothing really. Um, I haven't been doing too much because it's leaking everything. It's leaking oil. It's leaking coolant. It's leaking gear oil. It's not leaking gas, so that's good. But I did buy. I ordered the kit, the front knuckle rebuild kit from Cruiser Outfitters. So that will be happening this summer. I'm gonna rebuild the front axles on that. Um, it's gonna be similar to the Land Cruiser one that I did, the 80 series axle rebuild. But this one, I'm not gonna have to replace the burr fields, so it should be a little bit easier. It's definitely a lot cheaper. Those burr fields aren't cheap. So the whole kit for my truck, what was it? I think it wasn't even 200 bucks. It was like 170, 180 bucks or something like that. And that's every seal you need to do the whole job. So that will be a future video. So I know you guys like the Toyota maintenance stuff. Um, that's what's new with the 85. I still need to repair the frame. Let's see what else. And eventually, this is probably going to get pushed back another year, just because I got too many projects, man. Uh, Maybe over next winter, I'm going to rebuild that 22R that I tore down, the one that I got for 100 bucks. Never heard it run. Tore it down. Turns out it wasn't damaged. The bearings were fine. It was a perfectly good motor. I tore down a perfectly good motor, but I couldn't sell it. Never have heard it run. So it made for a good video. But I am gonna rebuild a 22R for my 85. That's the long-term plan. It keeps getting pushed back. My 22R, it's not bad now. Compression was a little bit low on one cylinder, but nothing more than it wasn't even like 20 psi below the rest, so it's not that bad. But I just want to go through, redo everything, everything fresh, and just have a fresh motor. Because I'm tired. I get all these trucks and they have 150 to 180,000 miles on them, and just keep swapping these motors. And I just rather start with a fresh build for once, and not have to worry about anything for a long time. So we'll see. One of these days. The 87, let's see, I think I told you guys last week and a little bit earlier too, I traded some parts off of that to Michael for my 1980. So the 87 is now, it's missing the bench seats, missing the door panels, um, missing some, there's like some trim, some lights, miscellaneous stuff, some badging. So the 87, man, I'm just not finding a frame and a bed. It's tough. The 87 may very well be a donor truck, may turn into a donor truck. It's so sketchy now to the point where I don't even want to drive it. I think one side is sagging, like one side is 4 inches like lower than the other side. It's the frame is just so weak and soft and twisted. The whole thing is just bad. It's bad news. Um, if I had like man, if I had like a farm, I would definitely do like I would definitely take it out some jumps because I'm sure it would snap. Where were we here? Where were we? We were going back. I skipped a bunch of comments. Here we go. So yeah, that's the story on my two second gens. 99 Forerunner, Bryce. You sold it. Did you get a good deal on it? Because those are going up in value already. Hard to believe. Low mileage, clean third gen Forerunners are already going up in value. Especially if it's a 5 speed, because those are pretty rare. Yeah, the 3.0s they have a definitely have a bad rap with the head gasket issues. Um, keep up with maintenance, and also take out that crossover exhaust, the one that like wraps around behind the heads, and just put a true dual like exhaust on it, and keep that heat down away from the cylinder heads. And that's the first thing we did, by the way, when we pulled that motor out to put into the Gambler 500 Honda. Was we bought a cheap, just eBay, I think it was like 150 bucks, stainless dual exhaust. Uh, just because we don't want to. I know it's a gambler car, but we don't want to take our chances. Let's see. Fix the starting issue. I have to crank for 3 to 4 minutes for the gas to reach the carb. Was a stuck float in the carb. Okay, good to know. It was actually overloading the carb with gas and going out the overflow tube. So there you go. Stuck float in the carb. Um, see, Sterling says, I dropped a screwdriver tip down the oil galley on my 22R when I was adjusting the valves. So these things are definitely bulletproof. That tip is still in the oil pan somewhere. Oh, man, consider yourself lucky. Yeah, man. At some point, pull those oil pans off, you guys, on those 22Rs and 22REs, because you never know how many times the previous owners let those plastic guides uh, go to crap and just disintegrate and fall down in that pan, and eventually all that junk can clog up your pickup screen and cause oil starvation. So, at some point, whether it be to you know, clean up the rust and give it a fresh coat of paint or just for something, pull those pans off and check out that oil pickup. I remember I pulled mine off one time when I was painting my pan because it was rusty, and I was surprised the amount of little black plastic junk that was stuck in the bottom. Let's see. Bryce has always wanted an 85 Forerunner because so have I. I passed one up back in the day for 1,500 bucks, and that's the one that got away. I'll never see a deal like that again. See, have any of you people been to a crawling trail here in Central California called Bald Mountain? All right, any West Coast guys? You guys been to Bald Mountain? Has anyone bought parts from Rock Auto? Uh, yeah, Rock Auto. Good prices. Um, I feel like, you know, for as ancient as their website is, there's some good deals to be found on there. Maybe that's how they keep the deals so cheap is they just never update the, overhaul their website. But there's some deals on there. Now you gotta be careful. A lot of the stuff is, the cheaper Chinese stuff. But hey, sometimes that's all you need. Excuse me. Uh, Eric bought a 1990 Toyota pickup and he still owns an 85. Nice. Yeah. Uh, let's see. The stuck float in the car was on an 8622R, and you asked about switching to electronic fuel pump. Yeah, and we definitely said no. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, don't. I would say no because that's more of a band-aid fix than solving the actual problem. So I'm glad you got it worked out though. You found the actual problem and fixed it. So kudos to you, man. And thanks for sharing too because I was kind of stumped as well. I was wondering what was going on. So that always helps us with a similar situation we might have. Let's see, Eric, are those LCE crankcase scrapers any good? Can't speak from experience on that. Has anybody used the LCE oil scrapers? Let us know. Yeah, Sterling, you summed it up. Rock Auto was awesome. Just don't buy anything from the economy section and you'll be good. The fast lane, no. I have not found a Forerunner, and I've almost quit looking just because I'm out of space right now. I'm out of space, and I've got too many projects. I got to get some stuff done. I got to get the 88 Legend, to get that thing done and get that on its way out, at least on the road. And I want to get the 80 done, the 1980 Toyota. That's my next big one. That's gonna be my summer project. We're a month into summer, so I'm a little behind as always. But no, one day I'll get a Forerunner one of these days. A first gen Forerunner. I should specify it's a first gen that I want. Um, the buying the Land Cruiser last year sort of like filled the void though, to an extent of a Forerunner, because I've got a family SUV now, and that was kind of like one of the things about the Forerunner was I wanted something with four seats in it because my truck only has two. So I kind of like um, delayed the purchase, the need to purchase a Forerunner for the time being. Of course, it's not, not quite as not quite as cool as a first gen Forerunner. It doesn't that you can't pull the top off, and it gets way worse gas mileage. But it's still a good vehicle. Um, Rock Auto, another Rock Auto comic. Good stuff and lots of choices. Buy the quality, higher price stuff. Yep. Yeah, check out Rock Auto. It's good stuff. The fast lane. This week, I don't think I'm gonna have a video this week. I may have a short one. Um, it's not gonna be Toyota though. I had a bend in one of the wheels on my Legend. I went to get new tires. I noticed there was a bend on the back, so I did a quick video of how to repair a bent wheel yourself using a bottle jack. Um, I just did it today actually. I got all the raw footage on my phone still, so I may edit that and get something up. But I'm really gonna make my next Toyota video be a long one. I want to show how to restore um, really worn, damaged, finished wheels. I've got a set of OEM wheels for my Land Cruiser. Um, I'll pull it up and show you guys here. They're really bad. Let me see here. Where is that? My Land Cruiser, if you guys saw the video from, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where I showed all the JDM options, the wheels on my Land Cruiser are from uh, aftermarket three-piece wheels from Japan, and they're in rough shape. But they're three-piece wheels, and in Ohio with road salt, you don't want to use three-piece wheels in the wintertime because there's all those spaces and crevices and bolts that the salt is just going to destroy. So, let's see here, where is that? Land Cruiser VX. So, I'm trying to do two things at once, man. I'm not that good at multitasking. So I bought a set of OEM wheels here. I'm looking for the picture right now to show you because they are rough. And there they are. Okay, there they are. We'll go over to the other screen. I'll just show you how they look. All right. Oh wait, my bad. That's okay. These are the ones that are on there now. And you can see with the three-piece wheel, obviously you've got spaces for salt to sit in there and hide. Salt will sit around the edges of these fasteners, these bolts, and hide there and cause corrosion. Not to mention, they've not been maintained to begin with, so they need sanded down completely and repolished. So I want to get these off the truck. These tires, these Dynapro AT2s, they're good. They were brand new when I bought the truck, the Land Cruiser. So those are going to go on these, and you can see they're quite nasty. These are from the East Coast. This is what happens here in Ohio and any state that uses road salt. What happens is um, these wheels are factory clear coated. However, what will happen is a road rock, chip, piece of debris, or something like that will hit the wheel, or a weight will be mounted on the outer edge here, and that will put a small puncture in the clear coat. And then road salt, salt water from the road, whatnot, will get inside the clear coat and cause it to corrode because you've got raw aluminum under there. And once that raw aluminum starts to corrode, it spreads. Look at this. It just gets uglier and uglier, and there's no easy fix. You have to strip the entire wheel down. You got to use an aircraft remover, get all the clear off, and there's with a flash, you can see it's really bad. And then you got to sand the whole thing down and basically start from scratch. So that's what I have to do. I got to get it done this year. I don't want to put those three-piece wheels through another Ohio winter. So this will be one of my next big projects for a future video, and I think they'll look good on the Land Cruiser too. That one's not that bad, but yeah, I got a full set of five, so it's gonna be a long one. I did this once with a set of oh man, I should find that. Show you that. I did this once with a set of wheels from a Honda Civic HX. I'll show you how they turned out. Refinish? This could be it. Yeah, here we go. All right, before. So that's what I started with. This was back in like the mid 2000s, by the way. So no video, just photos. But same thing. You got the corrosion. It's not nearly as bad. But all I did was I stripped them down. Oop, I wet sanded with 180 grit. Got it down to that. Um, I just went through the grits. Went to 400, 600. This is with the flash, by the way. That's my green bathtub I had in my first place. Isn't that a sweet bathtub? That thing was just the most disgusting color. The place was so 70s. Um, yeah, it makes a really big mess in your bathtub, by the way. Don't do it in your bathtub. Luckily, I lived by myself then, and I had no one to yell at me. But that's 1,000 grit. And as you keep going through the grits, it gets more and more fine. It takes out the scratches from the previous grit. And you can see I painted the insets too. And that's what I want to do on those Land Cruiser wheels there. Nice blurry photo. There we go. And then after that, you polish them with some mother's polish. I think that's the before. Okay, there's the before, there's the after. So that gives it that mirror finish. Good stuff. And there's half done. This is the done half and the not done half. So what I want to do with those Land Cruiser rims is either get it to this point and clear cut them myself, or get it to this point and see if I can get it to take it to a local powder coater and see if I can get a clear powder coat to stick to that finish. So that's the plan with that. Um, yeah, here's a final done photo side by side, and I think that looked pretty cool on those 16-inch five-spoke wheels. Took a long time. I bet this took probably 10 hours per wheel doing it all by hand. It was a lot of work. But obviously these are not clear coated, so they would get destroyed in the winter. I never ran them in the winter, but these Land Cruiser wheels, they will be used year round, so I got to make sure I get them clear coated. So that's what I got coming up the pipe here. For at least for Toyota stuff, I got some other stuff too, but that's gonna be a long video, so I'm sure there'll be a few week break while I sand my fingers off doing that. Let's see here. Sterling, first gen. Yeah, first gens are awesome. You found one for 600 bucks, man. Needed a carb and missing the driver's side floor pan. Yeah, you could stick your feet through and touch a tire. Yeah, it sounds about right. Sounds like stuff around here. eBay's been great. Yeah, eBay's a good source for parts too. There's good deals to be found. Notchback, thanks for the pick. We'll check that out here in a little bit. Let's see. 300 and wait, 333,333 miles. That's awesome. Take a picture of the odometer when it gets there. That's cool. That's a good number. Let's see here. Cole, just curious. I know you bought the Land Cruiser in the U.S., so it might be gone already. But have you looked under the seats or anything to see if some loose change from Japan is hiding in there? No, the only thing I found in under the seats was a ton of sand, like white sand. And this Land Cruiser that I have came from Tottori, Japan. And when I Googled that, the first thing that came up is sand dunes. They're known for their sand dunes. You think of Japan, you don't think of like hot sandy beaches, but that's what this region, that's what Tottori, Japan is. And that also explains the fading clear coat and peeling clear coat. And yeah, so much sand was on the carpet. Uh, cool, it's cool though. I did find some cool stuff in there though. I found the previous owners. He had some gloves in there, some aviators. What else did he have in there? All kinds of. It came with all kinds of paperwork. So there is some cool memorabilia that came with the truck. I found a pair. There was a pair of chopsticks in a glove box. So I kept all that stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately, no change. That would be cool if I found some change or a few bucks. Yeah, 670 fast CRF. I thought about sandblasting it, especially the backs because the backs are so nasty. But if I can find someone local to do it, I've got a little sandblasting cabinet, but the wheel barely fits and there's no room to work and move around in there. So I probably wouldn't waste my time doing it. Um, That'd be ideal though. That'd be a good start. Would be to sandblast it. Only thing is though, if you sandblast, you're gonna do some extra sanding because you're gonna actually pit the surface more. So I may have the rear of the wheel sandblasted, but not the faces. The faces, even though they're corroded, I think I'd still start with 180 grit sandpaper and just sand it down that way. Otherwise, you might be sanding even more with that pitted surface. Unless you get like maybe a walnut, blast it with walnut shells or something like that. That might be the way to go with it. Let's see here. Yeah, the salt is that it is nasty though for sure. When are you going to start posting a video of the 80? I just did one. The last, most recent upload is of the 80, all about the 80. So check that out if you haven't. Other than that, it's mostly just I mostly just use it just to drive around town and tow occasionally. I don't have I haven't taken it off road. I haven't been off road in a long time. It's not I didn't buy it to be an off road vehicle. It doesn't have it's not triple locked or anything, so it's not an off road beast. Um, I basically just wanted to buy something that's going to last me the rest of my life. So something that isn't too complicated for me to work on, something that's built to last. That's why I got the 80. And it was a good deal. I'm a sucker for a good deal. Let's see. Where were we here? Uh, okay. Fast CRF. You were talking about the three-piece wheels. Three-piece wheels. I'm gonna fully disassemble and polish them. I want those to be full polish. I think it's gonna look awesome. Um, we'll see. That's so far off. So far off. First, I got to get these done and get the tire swapped over, and then I'll see. I don't even know what brand those three-piece wheels are. There's no stampings in the back that indicate any kind of name. I'm guessing there must have been a sticker at one point that's long gone. Um, I found some that are similar to it, but I can't find the exact manufacturer. So we'll uh, we'll get that figured out eventually, though. Hey, yeah, thanks for stopping by. Samurai illustration. Cool, man. Hey, show it to us. Send it over, man. I'd like to check that out. Um, so your cost for the powder coating was 180 total. That's not a bad deal. It's like the Ninja Samurai, not the vehicle. That's still cool though, man. It's still cool. Being like artistic myself, I like to see other people's work. The pole barn is the one I have now is 24 wide by 40 deep with a 10-foot ceiling. Um, the one at the old shop with the heated floor, that was 32 wide, 40 deep, 12-foot ceiling. Let's see. Flash Gibson found an 84 Toyota pickup, no rust, with only 118,000 miles with one owner. Oh man, two-wheel drive, but still for 1,500 bucks. Um, yeah, you should buy that right away. Um, no, it's worth. I'd say it's worth at least 5 grand. At least 5 grand. You could make an easy flip on that for sure. But or keep it because like you said, with that little mileage and no rust, that thing is gonna last a long time. Speaking of deals, you guys, I found a crazy deal if you're out in Washington and you're looking for some Toyota cabs. Let me swap over to the screen here. This is I couldn't believe I read this right. Um, First gen cabs, $10. Port Angeles, Washington. Free. Must take all three. Can deliver for a charge. They're on his trailer. He's cleaned the property. He wants them gone or he's going to scrap them. I'll show you the pictures. So three free cabs. I mean, here's the first one. You can see obviously it's definitely mangled up front, but I mean it's got a little bit of trim left on it. It's got a bucket seat in it. So the fender liners are on it still. Cowl hood latches. Here's the green one with the sunroof. That's actually a good straight looking cab. Floors look solid. That was the first one we saw with the mangled front. There's the first one again. And there's the third one. That looks like is that a first gen? Yeah, it is a first gen. Yeah, also looks pretty solid. So there you go, man. If you're in Washington and you're looking for some first gen cabs, there you go. It's on Marketplace. Trenton Michael Mason. So don't know the dude, but hey, that's a good deal. So questions. Okay, here we go. Any tire size recommendation for a 1991 two-wheel drive pickup? I'd say just, I mean, unless you're like going with the aftermarket wheel, just go with the stock size. Let's see here. Oh yeah, email. I got a few. Let's check those out. All right, Bryce, 85 pickup for sale. Come on. Very slow loading. There we go. 10,000 bucks. 173,000 miles. Excellent condition. New 22 RE. 10,000 or best offer. Ooh, extra cab too. That is clean. That is real nice. I don't think the dude's gonna have that problem, any problem getting 10 grand for this truck. Rust-free bed. Very nice. Very nice. Let's see. 89. Looking for someone in Georgia who is reputable. Want to get a 3-4 swap done on this. Ooh, that's nice. Very clean. Original paint, original graphics. So you got some of the Toyota clear coat fade there. Sunroof. Nice. I like those directional wheels, man. I tell you what, 90s, I've always been into 90s wheels. People hated them for a long time, and they're finally starting to like actually become sort of collectible. I've seen prices on eBay going up, and I've always wanted a set of these directional wheels. I just think those are so cool. They just look so proper on these second gen trucks. Let's see here. 84 two-wheel drive. See here. This was before and after pictures. Nice. You know, that's a good idea, man. Practice some stripes before you repaint it. Not a bad idea. Looks good, man. I like the color. Yeah. Now, you guys, this is keep in mind this is a two-wheel drive truck, and at first glance, besides the five lug, it almost looks like a four-wheel drive. You got the wider four-wheel drive bed on there. Yeah. I'm wondering, is this original? Is this factory? This side molding here? Because I've seen that on a few trucks, but not very many. Nice, nice job. And the samurai. Oh, that's cool. That is really nice. Yeah, these things in stock condition, I should say in stock form and in this condition, are becoming extremely rare, especially around here, anyways. Maybe not out west in Oregon, but that's nice. Very capable too. I had a few buddies that had them off road. Um, let's see here. So on the tire size for the 14-inch stock wheels on the two-wheel drive, we have 205 70R14. And let's see. Yeah, yeah, I do. I'm more of a. I like things that are period correct. I'm not a purist, but if it you know I hate seeing like brand new wheels on an old vehicle. That just kind of throws me off. Unless it's like really a heavily modified vehicle, but if the rest of the vehicle is mostly stock, then it just doesn't kind of I don't know, doesn't work together. What's the biggest I can go on a 93 Hilux four-wheel drive? We talking tire size, lift? What are you looking at? Taco Bell. Oh, it's already 10 o'clock. Um, we'll head out here in a second, but I want to show you this. Michael gave me this original owner's manual with the parts for the 1980. Yeah, let me go. Let me go full screen, since we don't have Clinton in here tonight. There we go, so you guys can see this. Of course, it came with, you guys have all seen these, but every page inside is mint. It has never been wet or water stained, or there's no grease marks on it. And those aren't extremely uncommon, but it also came with this, the the uh, the care guide. And there's some cool stuff in here that I wanted to kind of show you guys. Let me let me throw some light on this here. Story time, folks. um, it's got all the Toyota models from 1980. It's got the Land Cruiser down there in the corner over here. All the Celicas. Surprisingly, no pickup, but oh wait, no, they do a four-wheel drive right there. But there's some cool stuff in this book that I had never knew. For example, I just literally I looked at this about 5 minutes before the show. So this is they brought all these trucks over, all the vehicles over on a boat, and when the boat went back to Japan, they loaded it up with produce. So they would bring over cars and bring back what they say oranges and grapefruit on the ship back to Japan. So they literally traded cars for food. Let's see, there's a couple other cool things in here. Um, when was the last time you saw a $500 bill poking out of the wallet there? Let's see here. Yeah, here's some optional goodies here from back in the day. We've got the trim rings on the wheels. We got the chrome step bumper for the pickups and the 4x4 here. Um, a what do they call those? They call it a shadow kit. Louvers on this Celica, and the mirrors. And these are actually the mirrors that I have on my 1980. Didn't know those were an option. They show you all the different optional radios from the factory. And let's see here. Some other goodies on this page. Uh, the optional carpeted floor mats. It's weird the things that were like extra money to purchase back then, right? Um, in-dash air conditioning, genuine Toyota maintenance parts, touch-up paint, fog lights, and a optional winch, roof rack, block heaters, trunk rack. This would be pretty cool on the Celica Tiara band. Never saw that before. So I don't know. That was pretty cool because I never even knew these existed. Um, you could buy owner's manuals and like shop manuals. You could get books for all this stuff, like a book for overhaul engine and repair and carburetor and fuel system, cooling system, engine electrical specifications. Um, they were like $8. $8. You can get a factory manual for all that for $8. So yeah, pretty cool. But let me get back to the chat here, and we'll wrap this up because we are over an hour here. Um, so biggest tires on the 93 four-wheel drive. I mean, I mean, are you gonna be? How hard are you gonna be driving this thing? Um, Now, let's see. You said Hilux. So you are in the part of the world where they still had the solid axle, I assume. So you'll be able to get a little bit more durability out of that. I would say on stock solid axle, 35 is probably safe. You go past 35, um, you run the chance of breaking a burr field or two. Even on 35s, if you're aggressive, you'll break stuff, especially if you're locked. So it depends on a lot of variables. As far as what size you can fit, it all depends on your lift. You can get a 35-inch tire with a 4-inch lift and only have to cut the very back of your fender and the wheel well opening there. And we talked about that in the start of the show too. You can always rewind and check out all the details. Let's see. Only 7 here. Just getting started out west. Yeah, man. It's yeah, 10:07 here, so I'm about to sign off. Hearsay. Hey, thanks for checking in, man. Scored a 94 Toyota 4x4 extended cab 5-speed. $600. You stole it, man. Wiring issues, not running. Wiring issues suck, but for $600, it's worth it. Definitely worth it. Um, Yeah, stock. You could do 35 inch with at least a 2-inch lift though. 2-inch lift. If you don't want to cut your body fenders at all, you need a 4-inch lift with minimal. That's with minimal cutting. If you don't want to do any cutting at all, I get a 6-inch lift. And that's if okay off road. Well, there you go. If you're going to be doing some flexing, you're going to do some cutting for sure. Well, all right, guys. I appreciate y'all for checking in. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Before you go, make sure that you head over to the new Toyota Tuesday channel. I put a link here at the sticky comment at the top here. Here, I'll post another one right now, just so you don't have to scroll up here. I'll make it easy on you. There is the link to the channel where the show will live in the future. Um, Make sure that's going to show up. Yep, there you go. So yeah, go there, subscribe. I think there was like 29 earlier today when I checked, which you know, at some point when the show does move there, you won't get the notifications and all that. So go ahead, subscribe. I don't know when we'll officially switch the show over. Probably when we get all of you guys on board. We don't want anyone to miss out on a future show. So we'll do another one here in 2 weeks. So that'll be what mid June. Um, Take care, guys. And in the meantime, if you want to send me any pictures, any questions, do it through Toyota Tuesdays at gmail.com. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching.